Attorney General Ellison, first, what is the latest that you can share with our audience?
That law enforcement is working around the clock, that they're getting tips in, they're hearing a lot of important information, and I'm confident that this individual will be in custody in the near future. They have not apprehended him at this point, as far as I know, but they're working hard and they're closing in.
Now, NBC is reporting that the suspect had a list of targets, including prominent pro-choice individuals in Minnesota and many Democratic lawmakers who have been outspoken about pro-choice policy positions. What more can you tell us about this type of politically motivated targeting?
Yeah, he had a list. He had a lot of people on the list, and he murdered my dear friend Melissa Hortman, who was on that list, and shot down my other dear friend John Hoffman, who was on that list, along with their spouses. And there's several others. I'm on that list. There's others. But, we're not intimidated. We are standing firm. We are standing strong. Our resolve and our beliefs around liberty and justice for all are as strong as ever. And this guy cannot intimidate us. So he can have whatever kind of little list he wants. We're going to be safe. We're going to be pragmatic, but we're not going to stop standing up for justice.
Attorney General, is this a climate of political violence and that, certainly all of us, I've denounced even when President Trump was attempted assassination. Are we dealing with a lot of political violence? Is that the climate now we're seeing?
Yeah, that is the climate that we have right now. We have a climate of political violence where violence is looked at as an option to achieve a political goal. We all must denounce it. There's nothing conservative about this. And by the way, I want to be clear. I do not blame conservatives for this. This is the act of an evil individual who committed an evil, heinous, cowardly act. But there's no separating this act from the environment that we're in. And I would ask every responsible person to turn down the rhetoric and to argue passionately, but always remember that there are human beings, there are families, and there are people who love this country from different points of view here. And Melissa Hortman was one of the best people I ever had a chance to know. She was a dear friend of mine. And she and I worked on a lot of things together. And I knew her before she even became a state legislator. She went on to become the Speaker of the House, but I knew her when she was a legal aid lawyer fighting for tenants. That's when I met her. And she was a champion then, and she'll always be a champion in my book.
Let me ask you this about the unrest. After the George Floyd killing in Minneapolis, where you became the prosecutor in that case successfully, there was a lot of civil unrest. I was involved in a lot of the marches that we kept peaceful. You certainly advocated only nonviolence. What do you think about all of the unrest you're seeing? What do you think about the protests seen around the country yesterday, mostly nonviolent? It was there to save our democracy, all nonviolent from what I saw.
That's right. Well, we had 25,000 people here in Minnesota, despite the fact that we had this horrific, unspeakable tragedy happen. 25,000 people. You had thousands all over the country. The people who study this stuff, Reverend, there are people who study nonviolent pushbacks against authoritarianism, and they've come up with this number like 3.5%. If 3.5% of the population gets out and says no to the dictatorship and the regime, then you can save your democracy. And I'm telling you, from the looks of yesterday, we are on our way to saving our democracy. We are remaining nonviolent in the face of violence. Some people thought that was not the powerful position. But if you study Martin Luther King, Gandhi, and so many other leaders, and study Reverend Al Sharpton, by the way, you'll learn that the powerful position is the nonviolent mass action where you engage all sectors, you engage clergy, you engage labor, you engage everyday people, and we all stand together and say no to the attacks on our democracy. That's the way to go. even in the face of their violent attacks. It takes a certain kind of discipline and strength to stay nonviolent in that situation, but it's what we need, and we've seen it work right on this very soil.